Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Exposition of the Holy Quran. By Allama G.A Parwez. Sura 12. Yusuf verse 1 to 111.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alif Lam Ra. تلك آيات الكتاب المبين إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون.
1 to 2. Says Allah, Alim, and Rahim. These are the verses of the book which makes everything clear. We have revealed it as Quran, explicit and comprehensible so that you might encompass it with your reason.
نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين.
3. O Rasul! Through the revelation which we have sent down to you in the Quran, we are narrating to you the story of Joseph, one of the best stories of which you were amongst those who were hitherto unaware.
إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين.
4. The story begins when Joseph related his dream to his father, saying, O my father, I have seen 11 stars and also the sun and the moon bowing down before me.
قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين وكذلك يجتبيك ربك ويعلمك من تأويل الأحاديث ويتم نعمته عليك وعلى آل يعقوب كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق إن ربك عليم حكيم.
5 to 6. He said, O my son, do not mention your dream to your brothers lest they hatch a plot against you. Surely, Shaitan is an open enemy to man. My interpretation of your dream is that Allah will exalt you and give you the ability to read into the inner meaning of events. He will bestow all his favors upon you and through you bless the household of Jacob as he had erstwhile blessed your forefathers Abraham and Isaac. No doubt, he is knowing and wise.
لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين.
7. The story of Joseph is not a mere story but contains ample material for reflection for those who wish to reflect upon it.
إذ قالوا ليوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا منا ونحن عصبة إن أبانا لفي ضلال مبين اقتلوا يوسف أو اطرحوه أرضا يخل لكم وجه أبيكم وتكونوا من بعده قوما صالحين.
8 to 9. Joseph's brothers said to each other, It is strange that our father loves Joseph and is clearly in the wrong. Let us kill Joseph or banish him to some distant place so that all our father's attention is focused on us and our affairs are straightened.
قال قائل قائل منهم لا تقتلوا يوسف وألقوه في غيابة الجب يلتقطه بعض السيارة إن كنتم فاعلين.
10. One of them said, "Do not kill him. If you want to get rid of him, throw him into a dark deep well from whence some traveler might pick him up and carry him away."
قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون أرسله معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون.
11-12. According to their scheme they went to their father and said, "What is this that you do not trust us and allow Joseph to go with us? We are his well-wishers, not his enemies. Send him along with us tomorrow so that he may play with us and enjoy himself. Surely we will take good care of him."
قال إني ليحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون.
13. Jacob said, "It indeed grieves me to think that you are taking him away from me. And I also dread lest some wolf may devour him at a moment while you are heedless of him."
قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون.
14. They replied, "How can you think of that? How can a wolf devour him when there are so many of us with him? If such a thing happens it would mean that we are a worthless lot."
فلما ذهبوا به وأجمعوا أن يجعلوه في غيابة الجب وأوحينا إليه لتنبئنهم بأمرهم هذا وهم لا يشعرون.
15. Thus they took Joseph with them and all agreed to throw him into the dark depths of the well. And while they were doing this, we revealed to Joseph, "Do not despair. A time will come when you will recount this event to them whilst they would fail to understand. As to how did you survive and reach this high position?"
وجاءوا أباهم عشاء يبكون قالوا يا أبانا إنا ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين.
16-17. At nightfall, Joseph's brothers came to their father weeping and said, "O our father, we went to run a race leaving Joseph behind to watch over our belongings. A wolf came in the meantime and devoured him. We know that no matter how truthful we might be you will not believe us."
وجاءوا على قميصه بدم كذب قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل والله المستعان على ما تصفون.
18. In proof of their story they brought Joseph's shirt stained with false blood upon it. After hearing this, their father said, "I know this is not so, your story is false and fabricated. It is your own mind which has made such a terrible thing. Seems so light to you. But I can do nothing, except to bear this with patience in the most appropriate manner. Allah will surely give me the strength to bear what you have described to me.
وجاءت سيارة فأرسلوا واردهم فأدلى دلوه قال يا بشرى هذا غلام وأسروه بضاعة والله عليم بما يعملون.
19. And it so happened that a caravan came to that place and sent one of them to fetch water from the well. He let down his bucket, but instead of water he found a boy in the well and exclaimed, "What a good news! There is a boy." They decided to make use of Joseph as merchandise and so hid him away from the sight of others lest anyone should claim him. But Allah knew what they were doing.
وشروه بثمن بخس دراهم معدودة وكانوا فيه من الزاهدين.
20. They sold him in the Egyptian market for a paltry price of a few coins since they were not much interested in him.
وقال الذي اشتراه من مصر لامرأته أكرمي مثواه عسى أن ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض ولنعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث والله غالب على أمره ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون.
21. The man who bought Joseph said to his wife, "Treat him with respect. He may bring us profit or we may adopt him as a son." Thus we settled Joseph in the land of Egypt and provided him with opportunities to learn how to read into the meanings of things. Allah has every power to carry out his plans, although most people do not know this.
ولما بلغ أشده آتيناه حكما وعلما وكذلك نجزي المحسنين.
22. When Joseph attained maturity, he was endowed with the capability of judging things justly and with knowledge. This is because he had led a very balanced and righteous life. Thus we reward the righteous ones.
وراودته التي هو في بيتها عن نفسه وغلقت الأبواب وقالت هيت لك قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون.
23. And the woman in whose house he lived, contrived various plans to entice him. One day she shut the doors and said, "Come along, dear one." Joseph replied, "Allah forbid. He has raised me to a high rank through purity of character and you want to drag me down. If I submit to your desires it will be zulm, and it is Allah's law that the zalimeen never prosper."
وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا أَن رَّأَىٰ بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ كَذَلِكَ لِنَصْرِفَ عَنْهُ السُّوءَ وَالْفَحْشَاءَ إِنَّهُ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا الْمُخْلَصِينَ.
24. And indeed she desired him, and he would also have desired her, had he not kept Allah's directives before him. As a result of this, he refrained from all evils and all deeds of abomination. Thus he proved that he was one of our sincere devotees.
واستبق الباب وقدت قميصه من دبر وألف يا سيدها وألفيا سيدها لدى الباب. قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا إلا أن يسجن أو عذاب أليم. قال هي راودتني عن نفسي وشهد شاهد من أهلها إن كان قميصه قد من قبل فصدقت وهو من الكاذبين وإن كان قميصه قد من دبر فكذبت وهو من الصادقين.
25-27. They both made for the door, one rushing after the other, Joseph with the intention of getting out and the woman with the intention to thwart his escape. In this struggle she rent his shirt from the back. At the door they encountered the woman's husband. The woman immediately fabricated a story inwardly and said to her husband, "What should be the recompense of one who had evil intentions towards your wife, prison or some more severe punishment?" Joseph said to her husband, "She is telling a lie. It was she who tried to entice me." Her husband found it difficult to judge the matter. At that time a member of his wife's family suggested a test on the following lines. If his shirt is rent in front she speaks the truth and he is a liar. On the other hand, if his shirt is rent from the back, she lies and he speaks the truth.
فلما رأى قميصه قد من دبر قال إنه من كيدكن إن كيدكن عظيم.
28. When the woman's husband saw Joseph's shirt torn in the back, he said to his wife, "This is not unusual. This is how you women folk behave. Your guile is very deep and dangerous."
يوسف أعرض عن هذا واستغفري لذنبك إنك كنت من الخاطئين.
29. Then he turned towards Joseph and said, "Pass this over," and turning to his wife, said, "You are guilty. Ask Joseph to pardon you for your crime."
وقال نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه قد شغفها حبا إنا لنراها في ضلال مبين.
30. When the news of this event spread in the town, some of the women said, "The wife of Aziz, governor, had tried to seduce her slave. She had fallen madly in love with him. But the method she adopted for the achievement of her purpose was faulty."
فلما سمعت بمكرهن أرسلت إليهن وأعتدت لهن متكئا وآتت كل واحدة منهن سكينا وقالت اخرج عليهن فلما رأينه أكبرنه وقطعن أيديهن وقلن حاش لله ما هذا بشرا إن هذا إلا ملك كريم.
31. When Aziz's wife heard their malicious talk, she invited them and got a cushioned banquet ready for them, giving each of them knife. Then she asked Joseph to come in. When they saw him they were dazed by his beauty. The women tried their best to entice Joseph but were unsuccessful. Thereupon they wounded their hands, so that they might accuse Joseph of attacking them, although they knew fully well how pure and strong his character was.
قالت فذلكن الذي لمتن ليفتنني فيه ولقد راودته عن نفسه فاستعصم ولئن لم يفعل ما آمره ليسجنن وليكونن من الصاغرين.
32. At this, the wife of Aziz said, "See, this is the man about whom you tauntingly blamed me. Indeed I did try to seduce him, but he remained firm. Now, once again, if he does not do what I bid him, he shall most certainly be imprisoned and degraded."
قال رب السجن أحب إلي مما يدعونني إليه وإلا تصرف عني كيدهن أصب إليهن وأكن من الجاهلين.
33. Thereafter he called upon his Rab and said, "O my Rab, prison is more desirable to me than to comply with what these women invite me for. Unless you help me and turn away their guile from me, I may get inclined towards them, and in such a situation, I would be one of those who do not remain conscious of right and wrong."
فاستجاب له ربه فصرف عنه كيدهن إنه هو السميع العليم.
34. Allah heard him and Joseph stood steadfastly. The women could not succeed in their scheme. Allah hears and knows everything.
ثم بدا لهم من بعد ما رأوا الآيات ليسجننه حتى حين.
35. The matter came before the court. The judges witnessed the proof of Joseph's innocence but nevertheless considered it expedient to imprison him for a while.
ودخل معه السجن فتيان قال أحدهما إني أراني أعصر خمرا وقال الآخر إني أراني أحمل فوق رأسي خبزا تأكل الطير منه نبئنا بتأويله إنا نراك من المحسنين.
36. It so happened that with Joseph 2 youths came into prison. One day one of them said to Joseph, "I saw a dream in which I thought I was pressing grapes to make wine." The other youth said, "I dreamt that I was carrying bread on my head and the birds were pecking at it." They said to Joseph, "Tell us what this means, for we see that you are one of the Mosinine."
قال لا يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبأتكما بتأويله قبل أن يأتيكما ذلكما مما علمني ربي إني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون واتبعت ملة آبائي إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء ذلك من فضل الله علينا وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون يا صاحبي السجن أأرباب متفرقون خير أم الله الواحد القهار ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن الحكم إلا لله أمر ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون.
37-40. Joseph said to them, I shall tell you the interpretation of your dreams before your food is brought to you, for this is part of the knowledge which my Rabb has imparted to me. Joseph could see that the youths were in a mood to listen to him attentively. He therefore availed himself of the opportunity to convey to them the message of Allah. He said, Let me tell you first that I have abandoned the religion of those who do not believe in Allah and deny the life hereafter. I am following the course of my forebears, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do not associate anything with Allah. This is Allah's bounty to the progeny of Abraham and to humanity at large, but most of the people do not accept this course. Let me explain the import of this by means of an example. There is a man who serves only one master and another who serves many. Tell me, which of the two has a better life? Reflect on this and let me know whether it is better to obey Allah's laws alone or to serve various deities. What you worship besides Allah are mere names which you and your fathers have coined, for which Allah has sent no sanction. Mind it. The right to exercise authority belongs only to Allah. He has enjoined that we should obey none but Him. This is the right deen, but most people do not know this.
يا صاحبي السجن أما أحدكما فيسقي ربه خمرا وأما الآخر فيصلب فتأكل الطير من رأسه قضي الأمر الذي فيه تستفتيان.
41. Now listen to the interpretation of your dreams. In opinion, the one who was pressing grapes to make wine will be released and will serve his master with wine as before. As for the other, he will, I think, be crucified, and birds shall peck at his head. I am convinced that the matters are so decreed.
وقال للذي ظن أنه ناج منهما اذكرني عند ربك فأنساه الشيطان ذكر ربه فلبث في السجن بضع سنين.
42. Joseph said to the one whom he considered about to be released, Remember me to your master. But Shaitan caused him to forget Joseph's request to make mention of it to his master. So Joseph had to remain in the prison for some more years.
وقال الملك إني أرى 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في رؤياي إن كنتم للرؤيا تعبرون. قالوا أضغاث أحلام وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين.
43-44. One night the kind dreamt that there were 7 fat kine which were being devoured by 7 lean ones, and that there were 7 green ears of corn and a like number withered ones. He asked his nobles to tell him what his dream meant, since they claimed to be able to interpret dreams. They said that it was hodgepodge of nightmares which they could not interpret.
وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون.
45. This event caused the prisoner who had been released to remember Joseph's request. He said, "Let me go to the prison and I will let you know the interpretation of your dream."
يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون.
46. He went to the prison and said to Joseph, "O Joseph, you are a man of truth. Tell me the interpretation of this dream. 7 fat kine are being devoured by 7 lean ones, and there are 7 green ears of corn and 7 withered ones. I shall convey this interpretation to the nobles of the king. They will thus know your worth."
قال تزرعون 7 سنين دأبا فما حصدتم فذروه في سنبله إلا قليلا مما تأكلون ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك 7 شداد يأكلن ما قدمتم لهن إلا قليلا مما تحصنون ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام فيه يغاث الناس وفيه يعصرون.
47 to 49. Joseph said, "You should sow 7 years diligently and store up the corn which you reap in its ears, except a portion which you need for consumption. After these 7 years of plenty will come 7 years of scarcity, when you will consume what you have stored up, keeping a portion of it in reserve for sowing purposes. Then after that shall come a year during which there will be plenty of rain and abundance of fruit which people will crush."
وقال الملك ائتوني به فلما جاءه الرسول قال ارجع إلى ربك فاسأله ما بال النسوة اللاتي قطعن أيديهن إن ربي بكيدهن عليم.
50. This man disclosed the interpretation of the dream to the king and, on his inquiry, told him whose interpretation it was. On this, the king said, "Get him out of prison and bring him to me." When the king's messenger came to Joseph with his message, Joseph said, "Tell your kind that I am thankful to him for his graciousness, but do not want to get out of the prison as a matter of mercy unless it is proved that I was not guilty. For this purpose a fresh inquiry should be made about the case of those women who had laid a snare for me and wounded their hands. Allah knows what the truth was, but after a fresh inquiry has been made, everyone will know it. Then I will come out of prison."
قال ما خطبكن إذ راوتن يوسف عن نفسه قلن حاش لله ما علمنا عليه من سوء قالت امرأة العزيز الآن حصحص الحق أنا راودته عن نفسه وإنه لمن الصادقين.
51. The king himself conducted the inquiry and asked the women concerned to tell him the truth about what really happened when they tried to entice Joseph. They replied, "God forbid. We have nothing to say against his character." Thereupon, the wife of Aziz said, "The truth has come to light. It was I who tried to entice Joseph. Surely he is a man of upright character and truthful."
ذلك ليعلم أني لم أخنه بالغيب وأن الله لا يهدي كيد الخائنين.
52. At this time Joseph said that he had asked for a fresh inquiry so that it should be known to Aziz that he did not betray his trust behind his back. And surely Allah's law of mukafat does not let the evils of those who betray ever succeed.
وما أبرئ نفسي إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء إلا ما رحم ربي إن ربي غفور رحيم.
53. Continuing her statement, the wife of Aziz said, I do not absolve myself of blame. I confess my guilt. The baser elements in human beings incline them to evil. Only those people can be protected from this evil who keep in mind Allah's directives given as his rahmat, and most certainly my Rabb is the protector and Rahim.
وقال الملك ائتوني به أستخلصه لنفسي فلما كلمه قال إنك اليوم لدينا مكين أمين.
54. The king said, Bring Joseph to me. I will attach him to my own person. Then when the king had talked to Joseph he became better aware of his merits, and said, From this day on, you shall be attached to me, occupying a place of high honor and trust.
قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم.
55. Joseph said to the king, The economy of Egypt is agricultural. I wish to be given charge of the administration of the resources of land. I know how to increase the produce as well as how to preserve it.
وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض يتبوأ منها حيث يشاء نصيب برحمتنا من نشاء ولا نضيع أجر المحسنين ولأجر الآخرة خير للذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون.
56-57. Thus we bestowed on Joseph as place of authority in the land so that he might exercise it as he deemed fit. This is our rahmat which we bestow on those who lead the life of Mohsinin. This is their recompense in this life. What the life of the hereafter offers to those who believe in and adhere to Allah's laws steadfastly is better than this.
وجاء إخوة يوسف فدخلوا عليه فعرفهم وهم له منكرون.
58. After some time there was famine in the land and people from far and near came to the capital city to fetch grain. The brothers of Joseph also came and appeared before him. He recognized them forthwith while they could not recognize him, because it was beyond their imagination that the boy whom they had thrown into the pit could acquire such an exalted position.
ولما جهزهم بجهازهم قال ائتوني بأخ لكم من أبيكم ألا ترون أني أوفي الكيل وأنا خير المنزلين فإن لم تأتوني به فلا كيل لكم عندي ولا تقربون. قالوا سنراود عنه أباه وإنا لفاعلون.
59-61. When Joseph had provided them with what they wanted, he said to them, When you come next, bring me your half brother from your father's side. You have seen for yourself that I have given you provisions to the extent of your full requirements and that I am a very considerate host. If you do not bring him to me, you will not have any provisions from me nor shall you be allowed to approach me. They said, we will solicit our father to allow him to come with us. This we will certainly do.
وقال لفتيانه اجعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم لعلهم يرجعون.
62. Joseph said to his servants, put back the money with which they have purchased their provisions into their packs in such a way that they may see it on return to their family. This will further induce them to come again.
فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل فأرسل معنا أخانا نكتل وإنا له لحافظون.
63. When Joseph's brothers returned to their father, they narrated the whole story to him and said, O our father, provisions will be withheld from us unless you send our brother with us. Only if he comes with us will we get provisions to the extent of our requirements and we shall surely take care of him.
قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين.
64. Thereupon, their father said, shall I entrust him to you expecting to get any result other than what it was when I had entrusted his brother to you before? So let him remain in the care of Allah who is Rahim to the highest degree.
ولما فتحوا متاعهم وجدوا بضاعتهم ردت إليهم قالوا يا أبانا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا ونمير أهلنا ونحفظ أخانا ونزداد كيل بعير ذلك كيل يسير.
65. When they opened their pack, they found to their surprise, that the money with which they had purchased their provisions had been returned to them. They exclaimed to their father, what more could we hope for? Here is our money returned to us as well as the provisions. If you do not allow our brother to accompany us, just consider how much loss we will sustain. So allow him to accompany us. We will obtain provisions for our family and will have an additional camel load of grain as our brother's share. What we have brought now is a small quantity.
قال لن أرسله معكم حتى تؤتون موثقا من الله لتأتونني به إلا أن يحاط بكم فلما آتوه موثقهم قال الله على ما نقول وكيل.
66. The father said, I agree with a heavy heart to send him with you provided you give me an assurance in the name of Allah that you will bring him back to me except if you are surrounded by obstacles which you cannot remove. When they had given him their assurance, he said, Allah is witness to what we have agreed upon.
وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد وادخلوا من أبواب متفرقة وما أغني عنكم من الله من شيء إن الحكم إلا لله عليه توكلت توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المتوكلون.
67. When they were about to go, the father said to them, O my sons, do not enter the city together by one gate but enter it severally by different gates. This thought has occurred to me out of concern for your safety. You should take further precautions yourselves according to divine guidance to meet any situation which might arise later. You should remember that trust should be placed only in Allah's laws.
ولما دخلوا من حيث أمرهم أبوهم ما كان يغني عنهم من الله من شيء إلا حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها وإنه لذو علم لما علمناه ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون.
68. So the brothers entered the city as advised by their father. But what happened thereafter showed that this precautionary measure suggested by their father on the basis of his knowledge and experience could not safeguard them fully. This precaution was as a result of Jacob's heartfelt desire to protect them. Even this thought was based on the knowledge which Allah had imparted to him, but most of the people do not understand.
ولما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أخاه قال إني أنا أخوك فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يعملون.
69. When they appeared before Joseph, he drew his brother to his side and said to him in secret, I am indeed your own brother. Do not be distressed about what they have done.
فلما جهزهم بجهازهم جعل السقاية في رحل أخيه ثم أذن مؤذن أيتها العير إنكم لسارقون.
70. When they were supplied with the provisions which they required, someone placed a drinking cup in the pack of Joseph's brother. 12. 89. When they departed, one of state's officers cried after them, O you of the caravan, you are surely thieves?
قالوا وأقبلوا عليهم ماذا تفقدون.
71. They turned back and said, What is it that is missing?
قالوا نفقد صواع الملك ولمن جاء به حمل بعير وأنا به زعيم.
72. They said, The king's cup has been lost and whoever restores it shall be given a camel's load of grain. One of the officers said, I pledge myself for it.
قالوا تالله لقد علمتم ما جئنا لنفسد في الأرض وما كنا سارقين.
73. Joseph's brothers said, By Allah, we have been here before. You, therefore know well that we do not come here to create fasad and that we are not thieves.
قالوا فما جزاؤه إن كنتم كاذبين.
74. They said, If you are found to be liars, what shall be the penalty for it?
قالوا جزاؤه من وجد في رحله فهو جزاؤه كذلك نجزي الظالمين.
75. They said, In whose pack the cup is found shall be given up to you. This is how we punish such criminals in our country.
فبدأ بأوعيتهم قبل وعاء أخيه ثم استخرجها من وعاء أخيه كذلك كدنا ليوسف ما كان ليأخذ أخاه في دين الملك إلا أن يشاء الله نرفع درجات من نشاء وفوق كل ذي علم عليم.
76. The officers started to search their sacks. When they came to the sack of Joseph's brother, the cup was found therein. Joseph's brothers conspired against Benjamin, but the conspiracy turned out to be in favor of both Joseph and Benjamin. For Joseph had wanted to detain his brother, but could not do so under the law of the land. In this way Joseph's desire was fulfilled without, in any way, compromising his high position. We do raise to high degrees of wisdom whomever we please, but above every one who is endowed with knowledge, there is one who is all-knowing.
قالوا إن يسرق فقد سرق أخ له من قبل فأسرها يوسف في نفسه ولم يبدها لهم قال أنتم شر مكانا والله أعلم بما تصفون.
77. The brothers said, if Benjamin has committed this crime, it is no wonder. Earlier his brother had committed a similar crime. This hit Joseph hard, but he kept his feelings hidden, for the time to disclose the true story had not yet come. He said, Allah alone knows what the truth is, but I can only say this. If what you say is true, it suggests that you do not belong to a respectable family.
قالوا يا أيها العزيز إن له أبا شيخا كبيرا فخذ أحدنا مكانه إنا نراك من المحسنين.
78. They said, O Aziz, do not detain Benjamin. He has a very aged father who will not be able to bear it. Take one of us in his stead. We have made this request because we see in you a generous person.
قال معاذ الله أن نأخذ إلا من وجدنا متاعنا عنده إنا إذا لظالمون.
79. He said, Allah forbid that we should take into custody someone else than him who is the culprit. If we do this, we would be acting unjustly.
فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا قال كبيرهم ألم تعلموا أن أباكم قد أخذ عليكم موثقا من الله ومن قبل ما فرطتم في يوسف فلن أبرح الأرض حتى يأذن لي أبي أو يحكم الله لي وهو خير الحاكمين.
80. When they lost hope that Joseph would agree to them, they went aside to counsel amongst themselves. The eldest of them said, You know that your father had taken an assurance from you with Allah as the witness. You also know what you had done in Joseph's case. At least I will not leave this land, under any circumstances, until my father gives me permission to do so or Allah gives some other decision for me. He is the best of those who give decision.
ارجعوا إلى أبيكم فقولوا يا أبانا إن ابنك سرق وما شهدنا إلا بما علمنا وما كنا للغيب حافظين.
81. Return to your father and say to him, O our father, your son has committed theft. We bear witness to no more than what had become known to us. Certainly we had taken responsibility for his protection and security for things he would do in our presence, but we could not protect against what he did secretly.
واسأل القرية التي كنا فيها والعير التي أقبلنا فيها وإنا لصادقون.
82. Inquire for yourself in the city where we had been and also of the caravan with which we came. You will know that we are telling the truth.
قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل عسى الله أن يأتيني بهم جميعا إنه هو العليم الحكيم.
83. Jacob said, No, I feel that your own mind has concocted a story good enough for you. Still I will bear it patiently. It may be that Allah brings back to be all of them. He alone is all-knowing and all-wise.
وتولى عنهم وقال يا أسفا على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن فهو كظيم.
84. He turned away from them and said, O my dear son Joseph. He was full of suppressed sorrow and his eyes had turned bleak with grief.
قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين.
85. His sons said, By Allah, it seems that you will not stop remembering Joseph till you are consumed or till you die.
قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. يا بني يذهبوا فتحسسوا من يوسف وأخيه ولا تيأسوا من روح الله إنه لا ييأس من روح الله إلا القوم الكافرون.
86 to 87. The father replied, I say nothing to you. I am only bewailing unto Allah my great distress and sorrow, and I know from him what you do not know. O my sons, go and search for Joseph and his brother, and do not despair of Allah's rahmah. None but the Kafirian do that.
فلما دخلوا عليه قالوا يا أيها العزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر وجئنا ببضاعة مزجاة فأوف لنا الكيل وتصدق علينا إن الله يجزي المتصدقين.
88. They went to Egypt again and appeared before Joseph and said, O Aziz, distress has fallen upon our family and meager is the money which we have been able to bring. Take this amount and out of pity for us give us provisions in full measure and be bountiful to us. Allah, no doubt, rewards the bountiful.
قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه إذ أنتم جاهلون.
89. Now the time had come to disclose the truth. Joseph said to them, Do you remember what you did to Joseph and his brother out of sheer ignorance of right and wrong?
قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي قد من الله علينا إنه من يتق ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين.
90. Thereupon the brothers looked at Joseph and recognizing him, said, "Are you indeed Joseph?" He said, "I am Joseph and this is my brother. Allah has indeed been gracious to us. This is how he rewards those who adhere to his laws and endure patiently the trials of life. He does not let the righteous suffer and go unrewarded."
قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله علينا وإن كنا لخاطئين.
91. Hearing this they said, "By Allah, surely he has exalted you above us, we had certainly been in the wrong."
قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. اذهبوا بقميصي هذا فألقوه على وجه أبي يأت بصيرا وأتوني بأهلكم أجمعين.
92-93. He said, "Let no blame rest on you today. I pardon you and seek your protection from Allah also. He is Rahim to the highest degree. Go back to your home and present my shirt to my father. I know that he possesses so much insight that he will recognize that this shirt belongs to one who holds an exalted position. And come back to me with all your family members."
ولما فصلت العير قال أبوهم إني لأجد ريح يوسف لولا أن تفندون قالوا تالله إنك لفي ضلالك القديم.
94-95. When the caravan of Joseph's brothers departed from Egypt, their father who was at home exclaimed to those around him, "If you do not think that I am a dotard, I can tell you that I catch Joseph's scent." Those around him said, "By Allah, you are suffering from your old delusions."
فلما أن جاء البشير ألقاه على وجهه فارتد بصيرا قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون.
96. When the bearer of good tidings arrived and placed before Jacob the shirt of Joseph, he was convinced forthwith that Joseph was alive and possessed a high position. He said to those around him, "If you do not think that I am a dotard, I can tell you that I catch Joseph's scent." Those around him said, "By Allah, you are suffering from your old delusions."
قالوا يا أبانا استغفر لنا ذنوبنا إنا كنا خاطئين.
97. Thereupon his sons said, "O our father, we confess that we were the wrongdoers. Kindly seek protection for us from Allah."
قال سوف أستغفر لكم ربي إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
98. He said, "I shall presently ask for protection from Allah, surely he is protector and Rahim."
فلما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أبويه وقال ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين ورفع أبويه على العرش وخروا له سجدا وقال يا أبت هذا تأويل رؤياي من قبل قد جعلها ربي حقا وقد أحسن بي إذ أخرجني من السجن وجاء بكم من البدو من بعد أن نزغ الشيطان بيني وبين إخوتي إن ربي لطيف لما يشاء إنه هو العليم الحكيم.
99 to 100. Thereafter, the entire family went to Egypt and met Joseph. He lodged his parents with him and asked the others to dwell in Egypt in security. He raised his parents to the seat of state, and according to the etiquette of that country, they bowed down before him. Joseph said, "O my father, this is the interpretation of my previous dream. Allah has made it come true and has been gracious to me when he took me out of the prison and brought you here out of the desert after Shaitan had stirred up strife between me and my brothers. The fact is that my Rabb accomplishes his plans in a very subtle way. He is the knowing and the wise."
رب قد آتيتني من الملك وعلمتني من تأويل الأحاديث فاطر السماوات والأرض أنت وليي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين.
101. Feelings of gratitude towards Allah welled up in Joseph's heart as he recalled previous events, and he exclaimed spontaneously, "O my Rabb! You have bestowed upon me dominion and taught me the knowledge of the inner meanings of events." 12. 6. O Initiator of the universe, you are my protector in this world and the hereafter. Let my entire life be spent in obedience to your laws, and let me be counted amongst the Swalihin.
ذلك من أنباء الغيب نوحيه إليك وما كنت لديهم إذ أجمعوا أمرهم وهم يمكرون وما أكثر الناس ولو حرصت بمؤمنين وما تسألهم عليه من أجر إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين.
102 to 104. O Rasul, this is one of the stories which you did not know before, and we made it known to you through revelation. You were not present with the brothers of Joseph when they colluded and devised their plot against Joseph. Most people will not believe in you no matter how ardently you desire that they should do so, though you do not ask them for any return. It does not matter if they do not believe, this message is for all humanity.
وكأي من آية في السماوات والأرض يمرون عليها وهم عنها معرضون وما يؤمن أكثرهم بالله إلا وهم مشركون أفأمنوا أن تأتيهم غاشية من عذاب الله أو تأتيهم الساعة بغتة وهم لا يشعرون.
105 to 107. Apart from this revelation, there are so many signs in heaven and earth so full of meaning, yet they pass them by and do not take notice of them. Most of them profess belief in Allah yet continue to practice shirk. Do they feel certain that a chastisement from Allah will not encompass them, or that the time of judgment will not come upon them suddenly while they do not perceive it?
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
108. Tell them that this is my way, which is very clear and straight. My call is based on firm conviction and reason, as well as that of my followers. Allah is much above our setting up peers to him.
وما أرسلنا من قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم من أهل القرى أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فينظروا كيف كان عاقبة الذين من قبلهم ولدار الآخرة خير للذين اتقوا أفلا تعقلون.
109. They object to your being a Rasul, professing that a human being cannot be a Rasul. Tell them that the Rasul before you were also human beings living in cities amongst their people. Those who disbelieve that wrong actions bring about chastisement, have they not traveled in the land and seen what was the end of those who went before them, and certainly the abode of the hereafter is better for those who spend their lives according to the divine laws, if only they would reflect.
حتى إذا استيأس الرسل وظنوا أنهم قد كذبوا جاءهم نصرنا فنجي من نشاء ولا يرد بأسنا عن القوم المجرمين.
110. These historical testimonies show that the decision between right and wrong does not take place so quickly. All the earlier Rusul had to struggle hard for a long time, till at last they lost all hope, and people thought that all their threats of chastisement were false. At that time our succor came. The Rusul and their followers were rescued, while the wrongdoers suffered, and our punishment can never be averted from people who are lost in sin.
لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون.
111. Surely in their annals there are lessons for people of understanding. This revelation is not a fabrication but validates that which was revealed before, and an explanation of all things, as well guidance and rahmat for those who believe in it.